Okay, so whoever have met me before, then you know I am Chan, teaching about physical pharmacy, lecturer from pharmaceutical technology. For freshie, you may not know me and you won't know me until you are second year. So why am I calling for this webinar with you guys is because I thought it is good for students to understand where is their position, okay, and why are you coming to the universities. Okay, so let me start my webinar with you by posting a few questions to you. Okay, let me share my PowerPoint. Basic. Right, can you see it? Yeah, can you see it, everyone? Okay, if I did not receive any response, I will assume everything is okay, right? Okay. Right, okay. So the first question, okay. Is the current course or is the current course your course of choice? May I know? Can you please respond? You go to vvox.apps, okay, using your mobile phone or whatsoever, and you click in the ID of this, okay, and you can start to respond whether its current course is the course of your choice, or because you have not being offered about medical costs, then you choose here. So I will be seeing the response from the green button here. So I give you like 10 seconds to actually join this pool. Okay, so we already have 23, 24, 27. Okay, when I hit more than half, I will close this pool and then we will see the results. Okay, still responding, huh? Okay, so let's see how many of you. Oh, almost 100%. This is the course of your choice. So I believe that this course is your own interest, okay? And those who study with interest, then this is where you will be excel, okay, in your learning, I believe. Okay. So do you know the outcome of your study? So you are coming into pharmacy course, Bachelor of Pharmacy. Do you know the outcome of your study? Like what are you expected, or what do you expect to achieve? Or from this course itself, we have our own course program outcome that we will expect what we are giving to students, whether the student can achieve or not. Do you know those outcomes of your study? Yes? No? So let's see. Okay, so none of you say no. Most of you think that maybe you know the outcome. 57, more than half you think you know, and less than half things confirm that you know. Okay, then let me introduce to you what do you know as a Malaysian Education Act. Okay, the purpose of education in Malaysia is to enable Malaysian society to have command of knowledge, skill, value necessary in a world that is highly competitive, globalized, arising from the impact of rapid development in science, technology, and information. So what is the origin of education and the system? You know, the origin of the education system in Malaysia is actually exists because of the 3M. We want to enhance, okay, we want to enhance our citizen to be able to read, write, and calculate, membaca, menulis, dan mengira. Okay, that was the previous 3M. That's why in your primary school, if you still remember, you have some things like the 3M, I don't know, newspaper or things like that, that you can actually practice on. And those are more about reading, writing, and calculating. However, when you enter to higher education, and what is and where and when higher education exists, okay? The first higher education exists is a Bologna University, and the second one was France University. The first one was actually set up by a pool of students, okay, or what we call scholar, that they want to actually collecting the brain who have a higher thinking order, like who can actually discover things together, and they set up the Bologna University. And then France has started a second university, which is very much teacher lead, means is a pool of teachers who are actually setting up this higher education. And because of that, the origin of different higher education being set up from the different person, the first one being student, the second one being the teacher, and of course subsequently will be Oxford, Cambridge, in UK, because they don't allow their citizens to cross the border to study other place. Okay, so this has made them to have their own university. And when they have their own university, then there come Oxford and Cambridge University. And however, the university have three different school of thought, whether they are going towards the research, okay, which is the very first vision that they want to actually collecting the brain of different scholars, okay, or they are actually used to prepare the workforce, meaning that to prepare the human for the nation building that they are going to work out there. And there's another school of thought, okay, which is the school of thought called holistic. They thought higher education should be a place to nurturing a human that is holistic. But within these three schools of thought, okay, and someone moved to US, and they have set up Harvard University in US. And the first vice chancellor of Harvard University in US, they have started to combine the three different framework of higher education, where they need to have research, they need to have the training of students that is prepared for the workforce later on, and they need to also nurture a human that is holistically well-rounded. And that is why it brings to the higher education institution policy as we have up to today. But how much it has been changed since then, I think that is not so much has been changed. But if you want to see the evolution of education from very, very beginning, it was last time there is no words, you know. The first evolution of education actually happening when there is existence of words, okay. I mean, when there is existence of words, everything has been transformed into the words like essay, writing. People start to actually reluctance of putting things down or knowledge down into wording because it can be misinterpreted. This is the first reluctance in education, but the evolution has changed. Okay, that is the first evolution have changed. But the second evolution have changed is actually not only words, is when the photostat machine has invented, I think I forget the years, okay, in some years ago, very, very long ago, when the photostat machine has been invented, that is a second wave of higher education being evolved. And of course, until it evolved, until this day, the evolution and the changes by the internet, by this, by the cloud system, has still very minimally changed our education system. But with the most recent disruption, which is the pandemic, then it comes the final wave of evolution today, which is online distant learning. So let us look at the change from last time to now. Okay, last time, as you know, all this formal education system, they are meant to actually contribute to the nation building. That's why when the nation is moving toward industry, then they want to train people who know how to do industry, and then who know how to do electric, who know how to do computer. Okay, so you can see the evolution until industrial technology evolution 4.0. Then we are looking at the education that is very, very highly connected using computerized system, and the student have to be generate the content by themselves, but not the teacher. The last time it was the teacher, and now they move towards the student. And of course, in the future, we will use more of the analytics to actually integrate in the education system. So what are those skills that actually you as a university student should actually, master before you go to the work out there? Okay, there is something called 21st century skill. Okay, you do not only need to know this literacy, traditional 3M, literacy, numeracy, scientific, you also need to look into the critical thinking, creativity, communication, collaboration, and of course the character qualities, which is curiosity, initiative, persistent or grit, adaptability, leadership, social, culture, awareness. And please take 1 or 2 seconds to think, where are you sitting in this 21st century skill, and how much actually you master those skills in these 3 purple, orange, and blue columns here. Just take 1 or 2 seconds to think about yourself. Okay, so when we back to our country, Malaysian Higher Education Blueprints 2015 to 2025, this is our vision, that we would like to have the graduate that's having the outcome here. 1, 2, 3, 4 outcome: holistic, entrepreneurial, balance. They are talent excellence, notion of lifelong learners. They are quality for technology, vocational, educational graduate. And the enabler, how we are going to enable them, of course, all those education system, financial, online delivery system, and so on and so forth. Those are just for your information. So now when we look at this framework, okay, learning outcome framework, that usually most of the university will actually craft their bachelor degree program based on this framework that has been putting into this Malaysian qualification agency. So meaning that you are asked to learn all of these 5 big outcomes. Okay, you need to master the knowledge, understanding of your field. You need to have the ability of thinking, analytic, evaluation, synthesize, creation, and problem solving. Of course, and number 3, you need to have the functional skill, personal entrepreneurial skill, and number 5 is ethic and professionalism. In pharmacy, of course, it will be very much related to our forensic, about the different type of classification of this drugs act, okay, and also registration of products. Okay, so those are these main outcome that every and most of every undergraduate program, that they are crafted their undergraduate program according to those outcomes. And come back to our own school. Okay, I just trying to grab some of the information from the school and see how much are we putting ourselves into those outcomes based on our own curriculum system. And this is the percentage that you can see. We cover knowledge, understanding. We cover the practical. So mostly is on your lab practice. And the connective skill is mostly on, we ask your question about, can you discuss this, discuss that? Those are more on the cognitive skill or even the exam question. And communication is more of like your viva, your presentation that we are assessing. Your interpersonal skill, yes, we cover some, especially in my own, my subject and Dr. Tiger's subject, we are doing peer assessment. Okay, so you are being assessed whether you are good in teamwork. Ethic and professionalism, once again, is very much related to the forensic, personal skill, entrepreneurial, leadership, digital skill, and numeracy means calculation skill. Okay, just have a look on all this and how much are you mastering. And with this, then it comes out with we are trying to map holistic graduate. Okay, how many after you graduated, then you will have this kind of a spider web. Whether or not your knowledge is at a scale of 5 or scale of 4, and how are you in this spider web, then you will see whether are you a well-rounded student or whether you skew to one skill. Okay, now try to think back about if you are an employer. Now you are an employer. Do you want to have well-rounded employees, or you want to have employee that is with certain skill? Okay, that is very subjective to different industry, of course. Okay, so when you see there's a distance between the dream and the reality, and that is the dream that we are talking about. I have been talking about the dream that we dream about, having the holistic graduate, having these 5 main outcome that we hope that they get it. I'm not sure if they get it. And the holistic graduate with the spider web of well-rounded or even not well-rounded, at least they achieve some of this point and they are skewed to one skill. I mean, those to us is considered a good graduate as well. Not necessary all the spider web have to be covered by this different qualities. Okay. So can you please also answer this question? Are you stressful with the current form of online teaching and learning? Using the same code that you no need to put in again. Then we will close in few seconds. So let me see how many of you are stressful. Well, okay. So we have around 50% yes and no, and around another 50% maybe. Okay, but we are quite in a good direction that we are not in a good direction, sorry, because more than 50% is yes, is maybe and yes. Okay. Okay, if you are stressful, what is the main reason you perceive? You can just enter even a phrase or sentence or whatever. What do you think is the main reason? Taking in the form of we are having the current online learning. Enter to start pulling. What is the main reason that you are stressed about your study? Because I think it is worth to tell you that by this time that you are around, how old are you now? Let me guess. You are around 20, 21st, 19. Okay, let's say 19 to 21. Okay, and I will perceive that you are entering the phase of adult, right? And so you should be able, okay, to, after you have some emotion, to actually investigate why those emotion appears. This is where you can actually improve yourself along the way. Okay, so let us look at some of the responses that people put in. Anyone still want to chip in your opinion? Please do. Don't worry, Dr. Chan will not tell any other lecturers, but we will share the videos to everyone. But it's okay. This is anonymous. I'm not going to know who are you. So don't worry. So let me close and see who. What are those? I'm not sure if I can see the result. management, let's say management, and then uncertainties, bored, helpless, tiring, lack time, and interactions. I don't know why got I. Is it manage? You mean you are pro in management? Let me guess. You are pro in management. You are saying because, and uncertainty. Yes, uncertainty is because of the pandemic, right? Do you think the online education is uncertainty? Try to think about that, because we are going to stay at online, okay? And helpless, okay, because you have no one to help. So if you are helpless, remember there is someone called Chan Shok Yi. You can always reach me out, okay? Or even Dr. Izato as well. We have 4 lecturers that is dedicated to help students. First year, Dr. Tiger. Second year, Dr. Izato. Third year, myself. And we have final year, Dr. Hafzan. Okay. Tiring and lacking of time. Yeah, lacking of time is one of them. Tiring because of, tiring, is it? Okay. And interaction. Yes, lack of interaction because of the physical class. Do you understand? Result presented. Do you understand the credit hour that you've chosen to register at the beginning of each semester? Now, in response to those people who think that you have poor management, okay, now I would like to bring your attention to actually check whether you understand the credit hours that you have chosen in the beginning of your semester. Do you understand what is that means? And by having those figures, do you know how to actually manage your time? Okay, I think I can close it. No, so majority of you don't know your meaning of credit hour. Only 4.3% know about it, and 21% maybe. Okay, yes, I'm glad at least there is a 1 or 2 yes, at least, but only 1 or 2. So those students may be top student, huh? They can manage very well. Okay, let me tell you about something called academic load. Okay, academic load is like what academically put on you, okay, as a human. Okay, the loading that put on you as a human. It's like you are now carrying a big bag of rice, and what is the weight of these things? Okay, that is called academic load, and those credit hour is a representation of academic load, but they are representation, but they are divided into a few different categories. Academic load is divided into instructional, meaning that now I'm telling you something, I instruct you. That is instructional. Okay, this one. And the second thing is included in academic load is something called homework. Okay, homework is, people is crying to do their homeworks, so those are academic load. Another type of academic load is self-directed learning. Okay, so let's see how much of your time that you actually spend on instructional, on homework, and on self-directed. Okay, if you are not very if you don't understand academic load as such, okay, then you will just take instructional, means you attend the class and then go back home, and that's all your time. There's no academic load at all. Then you don't do homework, and then you don't do any self-directed learning. Then I would say the credit that you register is only half, because you never do the rest. Because the academic load, the credit hour, 1 credit hours is equals to 40 hours of learning, 40. Okay, 1 credit hour, just let me annotate. 1 credit hours is equals to 40 hours of learning. So how is it possible? So this is from a survey of all these undergraduate students, and they take the result of this average student, means not the top student. If you are average student, for 1 credit hour, you will need to actually spend 40 hours, 40, for 1 whole semester, 40 hours to actually learn. Okay. And from there, So now in your, for example, in this semester, you register for 20 units. So please calculate how much time that you need to spend for the whole learning time. Okay, but that is, please remember, this 40 hours is only for average student. Let's say you take yourself as average, means you need 1 hour for 40 hours of learning, 1 credit hour for 40 hours of learning. So let us look more deep into, for example, this one is a subject with 6 learning outcome and 1.5 credit hour. Okay, so usually how do we calculate this kind of credit hours? So let's say learning outcome, this is what the lecturer will set up. You know, I want my student to explain the type of contracts, distinguish between the offer, acceptance, and initiation of the trip, for example. And then the lecturer will actually draft this, what you call the timetable, according to this lecture hours. And only to this, okay, they are not going to interrupt your self-learning or even tutorial. Okay, some of the lecturers, they are kind enough, they will offer tutorial, because some of the students, especially them when they are in the Malaysian higher education, Malaysian education system, whom, sad to say, we has been spoon-fed since we are quite small. Okay, if you are not, then congratulate. Okay, when we are being spoon-fed, when we come to university, that you need to learn by yourself, then you start to think, oh, why those lecturers just come in lecture without giving exercise? Yes, we are not giving any exercise. You need to find your own exercise. Oh, because we believe practice make perfect. Last time our teacher gave me a lot of workbooks. So I did the workbooks and then I excel, I score A, and of course, congratulate. But that is spoon feeding. You need to, what you call self-learning. You need to find your way how to learn, self-directed learning. Let's say I give you these different type of contracts, let's say. Then you go and search what are the different type of contract. I will of course explain to you in my lecture, in the 2 hours lecture, some of the basic of this contract, for example. And in tutorial, if the student are initiative enough, teacher, we are so bad, we couldn't find a good what do you call exercise, can you give us a few? I am quite sure that your lecturer will assist you. Okay, and some lecturer even initiatively offer to student, do you need tutorial, do you need any kind of clinic, so that we can help you to this. And because we cannot give away the spoon feeding culture that we have been learning from the early of our education, but I'm not sure, at least that is for my case, maybe for you is getting better now. Okay, and if you see now, let us scrutinize back to these hours. 3 hours lecture, if you see here, you are given 5 hours self-learning time. Means now I'm the lecturer, I'm framing your what you call your course. I give you a 3 hours lecture, but I expect you to actually take 5 hours to learn by yourself at home, by revision. But revision is not only reading my notes after you print my PowerPoint and then you go and read again the PowerPoint, and then you, instead of having the 3 hours on the same PowerPoint, then you take 5 hours of the same PowerPoint. That is not effective self-learning, but that is still self-learning, not to punish those people who like to read lecturer notes. That is still a type of self-learning, but not as effective. I would say, I would recommend you to learn a little bit more by asking your Google, asking your, go for the reading, get some YouTube videos even. Then it comes back to the total of, for example, 10 hours, 5, 2, 3, 10 hours. So they calculate, and then the total of whole semester, they add up is 63. Okay, as I told you, 1 unit is equals to 40 learning hour. Okay, now this one is 63 total learning hour, including self-learning. So this subject will give you the unit of 1.5. Can you understand? Can you understand? Do you need me to repeat this? Anyone can unmute and just let me know if this is understandable. Sorry, because I cannot see your chat. Can you please unmute? Or let me open the chat and see if is it understandable, student? So I assume okay, yeah, without any question or alert, I assume okay. So now, when, yes, anyone?
So far, no question.
Right, okay, okay. So when you are learning, okay, when we are trying to craft your exam question, actually we craft based on those Bloom taxonomy, which is whether or not you need to remember, you need to understand, you apply, you analyze, evaluating, or creating. Okay, so look back to your practice in learning. Are you remember a lot, understand, and do you actually apply, analyze, evaluate, or create? Okay, try to think back to your own practice. And if you look back, link back to the 21st century, that we actually need, we need creativity, we need problem solving skill, all are involving higher order thinking skill here. Okay, so I hope everyone just pay some attention. And if you attend your lecture and you go back, you memorize, okay, you attend your lecture is good enough because you are going for understanding, right? But apparently when you go back, you just do memorizing. So you go back to a lower thinking skill, which is the lowest thinking skill. And how much and how many of you has actually do this higher order thinking skill, which is a big demand by the current markets. Okay, try to think about it. Okay, so now looking back into this knowledge, understanding, cognitive skill, functional skill, personal ethic, professionalism. Okay, looking back into this, how much have you mastered those skills besides purely knowledge and understanding? How much actually you are good in analyzing, evaluation, etc. Okay, so now let me bring you a little bit out from university, out from Malaysia, and look at the World Economic Forum. World Economic Forum, they are concerning this status of occupation, okay, among the graduates, or even amongst the employer. They do a survey to the employers and see what are those demanding, demanding skill that is likely to be adopted by 2025. Okay, and if you look at here, this is the technology that are likely to be adopted: cloud computing, big data, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, text image analysis, e-commerce, robotic, augmented reality, 3D, 4D, power shortage, etc., etc. Okay, and once again, please look into whether you have any of those skills. Okay, and the real skill needed, right, is critical thinking and analysis, problem solving. This one is also from the World Economic Forum. Self-management, working with people. Are you good in working with people? Of course, in this pandemic time, that you are not coming to the physical class, but is that the, what do you call, the sole hurdle that you can't work with people? Think about it. And management, communication of activities, technology use, development, core literacy, and physical ability. Meaning the core literacy, just know how to read, is not as, I mean, still important, it's not as important as before. Okay, so the one that increasing important is critical thinking and analysis and problem solving. And you will start to think after the end of your university life, you go to hospital, do you think that the hospital will ask you what is the side effect of paracetamol? Think about it. And do you need to sit an exam of the side effects or even the route of administration of paracetamol or bioavailability of paracetamol? Do you need those? Think about it. Okay, and ranking of the skill that is number one, which is data analytics and etc. etc. I do not want to overlap so much. And what happened in the Malaysia? Okay, in 2025, Malaysia will have the redundancy of data entry clerks, administrative, accounting, human resource, mining, all these kind of things are redundant in Malaysia, meaning that people are losing their job by then. And if you are good data analyst, scientist, strategic advisor, okay, Internet of marketing specialist, digital transformation specialist, digital marketing strategy specialist, big data specialist, all those are emerging in the future, which is your future, not my future. My future, I have less year to live. So it's your future that this is going to emerge. Okay, and then you will say, you know, I'm studying pharmacy. How am I going to tap into all this? No, in your pharmacies, you have people who are reporting adverse drug reaction. Those are data. Okay, you will need to be able to analyze those data, for example, and this patient, if take this and this and this, if you are being able to utilizing this AI to actually recognize the pattern, what kind of people that are getting what do you call high side effects of this or low side effect of this, or even genotype or phenotype, means a different genetic have a different reaction. All those are very technology based. Okay. And I recently received a report about graduate employability also. It's a worldwide record in our reputation of our graduate. Of course, this is the 5 university that appear in that report. The rest is not even exist in the report. Okay, so yes, we have more or less than 50% of graduate employability reputation, meaning that, okay, you are graduated from USM, then that is the 50% of employer will want to hire you, and 50% do not want to hire you or don't even bother about you. Okay, and for of course, is highest because of their ranking. 70% of employer will want to hire, and 30% not want to hire. But when you look at pharmacy itself, of course, USM is the best as compared to all the public university in our country. Okay, but that's a different case. So what are the gaps? So now our problem is when our graduates come out to the world, they have this mismatch of needed skill. Last time I have one time that in a forum, there is this one pharmacist advised student saying that just enjoy your life. When you get out there, you apply less than 5% of what you have learned from the university. Because I'm also the panel in that forum, then I look at that guy and say, so are you trying to say I'm not important anymore? Because I'm a lecturer, right? I'm not important. So they just no need to attend my class. They just need to attend 5% of my class in order to just survive in the workplace out there. I don't know. I think this need to throw back to the student and think about it. Okay. So what is your preferred learning of new knowledge? New knowledge means that any knowledge that is being introduced to you now is new. Okay, it's not about practice or not. It's a new knowledge. Do you like to learn it online? Do you like to learn it physical class lecture, or a mixture of both, or 50-50? Can you please help me to just respond with it? Just get some sense of it. Okay, I think I can. So mixture of both. Yes. Thank you very much, everyone, for supporting the school in going for the mixture of both, because yes, we do agree a mixture of different ways is more effective, because interaction is anyway needed in education. For learning purpose, we need interaction, and the physical classes is of course needed. But online classes, sometimes when you learn something new, you do not want to be bothered by any others. You just want to understand what happened cognitively. You want your brain to be clear from any distraction and just understand. Yes, if you ask me for any new knowledge, I like to learn online actually. But for any repeated knowledge or any teamwork, I still like to work with my friends, my students. Okay, what is lacking in the current teaching and learning process, if any? Can you please help us to understand? Yeah, you just need to press give some comment. Don't worry if negative. So if there's no response, then I think we are nothing lacking. We are very good, right? So nothing to be, I mean, if you don't, if there's no comment, of course, you are not forced to comment about it. It's good to know that we are good, then we have nothing to improve, right? Let's give you some time to respond. What is the time now? Let me see. Okay, okay. I will be on time, don't worry. But I like to listen to more student perspective sometime. More relevant. Okay, let me close. Oh, apparently I cannot see the, oh yeah, joy, feedback, lacking of joys, okay, lacking of feedback. Yes, exposure. I do agree. I do agree with you. And thanks for this response. And just give you some taste of what happened in the future or current. Okay, whatever you see from the World Economic Forum is what happened in the future. Okay, let me bring you to either you may perceive this is as a future or you may perceive this is actually current. In this information loaded era, do you still need to remember a lot of things? Okay, I put my son picture here just for you to have a look. You know why? I face a problem with him. When do you know the sifil 1, 2, 3, 224, 236, 248, all those kind of things? During my time, we memorize. Okay, and maybe you can give me some what do you call, some good suggestion. Shall I ask my son to memorize it? Because now they are in this stage of learning on this sifil. Okay, and my son, of course, very hard. He don't like. Okay, and do you think I should ask him to memorize? Because sifil is something that you have gone through. I have gone through, so we are in the same page. Of, I don't know, you have gone through how you have gone through, whether you memorize or whether you understand. Okay, I start with memorize, second with understand. Okay, when I see my son being so stressful in memorizing, so I make him understand. And guess what's next? When I make him understand, he told me, then there is no need to memorize because I understand. He said, okay. Then I say, okay, so you think you understand? Huh? Okay, then can you tell me 4 times 5 equals to what? Then he will he will need to go and draw the 4 bags and put in the 5 apple inside and then count one by one, 1, 2, 3, 4, until 20. How long he will take to actually tell me the answer as compared to whoever actually memorizing it and tell me the answer? So now, once again, I put the question back to you. Do you think in this information loaded era, do you still need to remember? You can put in the chat box. I don't have this what do you call, proof for this one. Yes, somebody say yes, yes. So you think we still need to remember? So meaning that into the some extent, there are some minor information that we still need to remember, even though I am quite sure if you put in calculator, you can easily get the, you know, my son say, you know, I can just press this X the times. I can press this X. I already got the answer. I no need to memorize. Do you think I want to cry? And I really want to cry already because somebody introduced calculator to him. So those are the things that we also want our undergraduate to understand. Now you are in the information loaded era. In your online exam, we know what happened in you. So don't worry. And the thing is, and because of that, you may think that you no need to remember and things like that. I think once again, throwbacks to you. So in order to achieve learning, apparently research has tell it is not related to screen time, not related to class time. Okay, and the learning, okay, learning space is very important. in achieving a good learning space. Like, for example, now you are in pandemic, some of you do not have a good desk or even a chair to actually sit down and look at the class and learn. And some of you even use the mobile phone to learn. Those are the learning experience and the space that you have only. But when the times pass, this has been a necessity, no longer a luxury. So you may want to think about invest some of your loan or your PTPTN into buying all this. Okay, and of course, to achieve learning, we should customize the learning into, if you are fast learner, you are slow learner. Let's say if you are slow learner in our school, please do not hesitate to just come to the lecturer and ask again if you cannot understand. Okay. And in order to achieve learning, actually, it has been shown that peer learning, peer sharing, real-time experience, traveling, service learning are those learning that's really embedded in you, and it will give you a longer impact as compared to those that you sit in front of the computer. Okay, so distant learning, I just give you some future or current, because this has already been available, which is Minerva University. Okay, Minerva University is a university that people enroll. Okay, after they enroll, they only learn together in the first year. Only first year they meet each other and then have some basic philosophy courses. And then second year onwards, they will choose their own place of interest, whoever, wherever, all over the world. And then they go and learn. Okay, from there, okay, they live there, but actually they learn the same syllabus from Minerva University, meaning that the distant learning, meaning let's say I just craft it in a way that now you are first year, you come into our university and you learn to interact with your course mate. In your second year, then you go back to wherever you are and you start to learn online. This is exactly the same experience when I think our second year student, current second year student, no, it's a current third year student, sorry, current third year student, where they meet each other before, and now because of pandemic, they have to learn in the distant learning. Of course, not locked down in the house. I mean, can go out and things like that, or even attached with the labs and etc. And this is a very, very successful university framework. And this has been a future trend. Okay. And these are some examples of school, also something like the homeschooling, but actually they rented a very, very small place just for them to gather for some minor activity. And the rest are online learning, meaning that they are more of the mixture of learning. However, the way that they learn, these two schools, is self-designed by the student, something like you guys. Okay, now you are in the first semester, you will need to choose which subject that you want to take. But as far as you understand, or you may not understand, I don't know if you, that you can actually choose whichever subject that you wanted to learn and try to collect this collective, what do you call, credit unit in order to graduate. Okay, that is more of like your decision. Okay, of course, your decision, you need to get your academic advisor to advise you whether your decision is correct or guide you. Not to say you are wrong, okay, guide you. Okay, and these two schools, they are doing exactly the same thing. However, the way that they do is, the students say, I want to learn about space. Then they go and find a teacher to teach them about space. Okay, and the students suddenly say, I don't want to learn about space. Then they will just fire the teacher, and then they get another teacher to teach about other things. This is a very, very brand new way of framework in education. And mind you, you will think, you know, maybe this is not successful. And many universities in US, they are actually particularly picking students graduated from this kind of school, because they have a very, very good quality in terms of self-decision. They know what they want. Many times, if you think, I don't know which course I want, I don't know what I want to be, I don't know this. I mean, of course, you can express to us saying that you don't know, but I mean, I'm not going to label you being spoon feeding, but it has been embedded in our education system that is not teaching our kids or our students to be make a good decision for themselves. But think about it. Not blaming you, please. Okay, and of course, coming trend is democratizing higher education. Okay, something like MOOC. Okay, some of you may have already got some MOOC course with our lecturers. It's like a distance learning. Okay, and when you are in online learning, there are three things that is very important, which is motivation, perceived effectiveness, and self-efficacy. If you look at here, motivation, perceived effectiveness, and self-efficacy. Okay, three of these, which one is the responsible of lecturer? Think about it. Okay, let me just put it back to the responsible of student, which is self-efficacy. Whether or not you are able to design your time, whether or not you are able to self-regulate it. How about perceived effectiveness? Whether or not, how are you perceive whether online learning is effective, not effective? If you think effective, usually you will try to make it effective because you already think. That is effective. That is a power of a law of attraction, because you have think, and then the universe sends you back the same message. However, the motivation, okay, the motivation can be from the supervisor or the lecturer, also can be from yourself. Let's say the lecturer is very boring. How am I going to motivate myself? Then go and find another lecturer in YouTube. Okay, so that make you motivated. You can still manipulate this part of factors if you face a teacher that you perceive not motivational. But from this kind of framework, even whether or not it is current or it is future, you will see there are very big portion of factor is actually back to your own self. Okay, think about it. So this is a globalized democratizing education. It's okay, I think I'm not going to tell you this. Okay, so the important thing is self-regulated learning, self-design of your time, academic freedom. You have to know what you want to learn. Okay, and lecturer is no longer the main character in your class. They are just guide on the side. And there is something called credit bank nowadays. Like the MOOC is something like the massive online open learning course, right? But after the end of each MOOC, that you got a credit badge, like, oh, I learned this one, then I got a badge. Okay, and then I learned another one, I got a badge. Okay, but those courses are very small courses, right? So when they are small courses, how are you being verified that you got those skills? Okay, there is already a platform called Credible. Okay, this Credible platform is where you can actually put in your certificates or even your badges, digital badges, that's telling that I have this and this skill, I have this and this skill. Of course, this is the platform that they actually accredited your course. Of course, it has to be accredited. If not, I can give you simply design my own logo and then I give you, right? So those are the things, and those are the future trend. So that's why nowadays you may want to look into collecting those digital badge or certificates that you can put in your LinkedIn, or even you attend some of your senior, your junior attend the Coursera MOOC of USM. Coursera is one of them, but actually USM itself, they also have their own MOOCs. Okay, and the Malaysian Education System, they also have their own MOOCs. Okay, massive online learning course, something like Coursera Open Learning. So you can actually look for those content over there. That's self-learning. And so the key takeaway from so far what I've said, how much you spend on each subject, okay, based on the units. Please pay attention on the units. Okay, you already know 1 unit is equals to 40 hours of learning. Okay, and 1 unit, if divided into exam 70% and the coursework 30%, then you can actually calculate, oh, exam 70% means exam is 0.7 unit. Okay, coursework 30% means coursework is 0.3 units, and then coursework divided into coursework 1, 2, 3 means each coursework is 0.1 unit. 0.1 units, then times 40 hours means you just need to spend 4 hours. If you spend years to do that, then yes, you will be very stressful because you don't know how to manage your time. Okay, think about it. So of course, you guys learning with interest because this is your course of choice. Congratulations. And time management. Okay, time management is not only your own looking at the clock or set reminder. Okay, there are a lot of different apps that you can use for time management. For example, each of you have USM email. In USM email, it is subscribed to this Microsoft Office. Okay, in Microsoft Office, you have, you have this calendar, you have create tasks, you have assign tasks, you have a lot of feature in the calendar itself. Can you please make full use of them so that you have your time management being effectively and not being stressful. If you need a time management talk, then I can tell you, or even you can have 2 or 3 of you and then you come and make appointment with me, then I tell you what I did with that. Okay, and self-learning is the differentiation factor. Okay, every one of you come to class, exam, finish, everyone is the same. So when you go to the work out there, you are not going to stand out from your peers. But self-learning will be your differentiation factor. Whether or not you have the initiative to learn something more, like Coursera, Open Learning, MOOCs, whatsoever, or even these different certificates that you get from different courses or different activities. For example, you do a lot of volunteer, you do a lot, all those are differentiation factors that you may stand out from your peers. And of course, once again, for online learning, exam or assessment, we know what happened at your end. We were once upon a time a student. So, but I don't want to scrutinize that. Okay, and something you need to know, we always say, this Gen Z, Generation Z, they are not very good in manner. The email writing, they just say, hi, doctor, not even good morning. Okay, they don't even, dear Dr. Izato, they never say that. They will just hi, or hello, I want to register the course, can you sign? Or even they just say, sign please. Okay, all those kind of things. Maybe you want to learn about how to write a good email, because let's say if all the Generation Z is not having all this proper kind of writing in email, and you alone having this skill, of course you are going to stand out, right? Okay, and social media posts, each post actually you will reach how many person and what are those impact, you may want to think far. Okay, and something you need to know, some of you may think that you know how to use Word, how to use Excel, how to use PPT-X. Are you sure? If you need more information, please reach out, and we have very good resources in the school. And of course, you have different apps. Please make full use of them. You all are digital native and new generation. Okay, thank you very much. Do you have any question that I can take and answer or help? Who disabled? Never mind. This one is okay. So I just stop sharing. Any question from the floor? From the student?
So if you don't have any question, I would like to share something with you guys. Let me share my screen.
Let me see if I have done. Yep, can.
You have done.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I saw your WhatsApp. Right. Right. Okay.
Okay. Student, I just want to, how to hide this one, yeah? Okay, I just want to share with you how to calculate your CGPA. So can you see clearly my Excel file? I just prepared while Dr. Chan presenting sharing her talk just now.
Yes, we can see. Dr. Izato.
Okay, let's say for grade A, what we call it, the marks is 4.00, A minus 3.67, B plus is 3.33, B minus 3, B 2.67, C plus 2.33, C 2.0. For example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 courses in one semester. So each course A is 2 unit, B 3, 4, 4, 2, and the total unit for that semester is 20 unit. I'm sharing this one just in case you are still didn't know or not sure how to calculate your CGPA. Okay, let's say for that semester, for course A, you score A. Okay, your score A. So for course B, also A, and course D, you score C for 4 unit here. So how to calculate the CGPA? We will calculate the unit and your score. So course A is 2 units, calculate with 4 marks here. Okay, so same goes to here, course D, 4 unit we times with 2 because you got C here. So we calculate with 2. So the total here, the total grades here, the total marks here is 66.67, and then we divide 66.67 with your total number of your unit. So that is your CGPA for that semester. Okay. So let's say this is a student, another student. Okay. So the second student drop course A and course B with lower mark than student A. Okay, but he or she score better in course D, which is 4 unit courses. He score A. Okay, now you see the CGPA is higher than student A. Why? Because in course 4 unit, he score A. So in this case, you need to score higher marks to get a higher grades for the course with 4 unit courses, rather than 2 unit courses normally is a easy course. For sure, you can score. So you need to put a lot of effort and be aware with your 4 unit courses. Okay. So for example here, just give another example here, student C, for example. Now she maintained the score for 2 unit courses, she scored B, for example. So for 3 unit courses, she scores A minus. But with 4 unit courses, she put a lot of effort, go and see lecturer to ask anything that she couldn't understand. And now you see the CGPA is higher than student A and higher than student B. So, okay, you get what I mean?
Yes.
Student?
Student, do you get?
Yes, doctor.
Good, thank you, thank you.
So when you go to the second semester, for that particular semester, the calculation is the same. But for the whole CGPA course, they will calculate based on semester 1 CGPA and also semester 2 CGPA. So they will calculate all. Okay. So when you see your Chang grade, there will be a CGPA 80, which is a CGPA for Asas or Teras, which is a core course in this in your study. So to be graduated, you need to score minimum 3 pointer, if not mistaken, to get to be graduated for Asas or Teras or the courses in this bachelor in your degree. So any questions so far for me or for Dr. Chan?
Any questions, student?
If not, I can stop here now.
Okay.
Okay, student, is there any question? Can you share with us your experience on online teaching, maybe? You can handle it or it's quite difficult for you? So it seems no more question.
So this is a chance for you to ask if you have any question.
Lijia Hui, any question, Lijia Hui? Okay. Nazim Haziq, okay. Aina Shazwin, any question? So you understand how to calculate, right? It's very important to score the 4 unit courses rather than the 2 unit courses. Okay. So shall we stop here? I think no more question, Dr. Chan.
I don't mind. I don't mind. If they have no more question, I don't mind. We just stop here.
If you are shy to ask here, you can PM Dr. Chan or PM me at any time you want. Except, yalah, ikut time juga lah.
I have clearer how to manage my study time. Thank you, Liu. I think the credit hour is the one that you should actually know. The rest of the thing, of course, is just a spice on top of those things. Yeah, and don't feel alone. That even though in pandemic or online learning, don't feel alone. You have really teacher or lecturer or friends that sometimes they are really care to yourself, and just do not hesitate and reach us out in email or even WhatsApp sometime.
Yes. So if no more question, please give to Dr. Chan Xiu-Yi for sharing her knowledge today.
Thank you. Let me Isato, let me share the link to the student so that I try to issue the certificates for them.
Okay.
Yeah, I just share one link. Okay, I will share in the chat box. You all can fill in this form, and I will have issued the certificates for you guys from MSPT. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. Hope to see you again face to face.
Yeah.
That is why sometimes when students would like to register for maximum 23 units, so sometimes we are afraid that you cannot put or manage your time because 23 units times 40, how many hours you need to spend for it? So, okay, that's all. Thank you, everyone. We can end our session now.
Yes, I will stop the recording, Dr. Isato, and I'll just wait them to access the link. Then I will close.